Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the tournament. Today we are currently on round 2, part 17, or are we on 218? As a matter of fact, we are on round 2, part 18. My mistake. For those of you who have asked me if I am doing another live show this Friday, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so, man. Last week when I was doing the live show, like I said in that time, I just the entire time I was basically sitting around all day waiting for 9 p.m. to roll around so I could do the live show, and I don't want to do that. And for those that have been wondering if I was going to do a live show, I don't want to just wing it. Like, I just don't want to randomly go live one day. I do want to situate a set date and time so that I know a bunch of people are willing to meet up, and we can all kind of congregate together and have a nice fun conversation and whatnot. And another thing is, I don't get like a ton of questions anymore. That's why you don't really see a lot of Q&A videos from me anymore. It used to be in the past, I used to get like a lot of questions, and I used to make these really nice Q&A videos, which I really enjoyed. But I get the occasional question here and there, but it's usually questions I could pretty much answer in the YouTube comments section or something. But like something I can really go on, I can go on out and make like a full-on video for or something. I don't get a lot of those type of questions. So, and if I go live, I don't want to just go, I just don't want to wing it. I want to have something of substance. I want someone that's, when they tune into the live show, I want them to know what the live show is going to be about, that it's going to actually have a legitimate topic of discussion or whatnot. So I don't want to do a live show at 9 p.m. Like I said, I think that a lot of people said they were working around that time. So maybe earlier in the evening, but same problem. If there are folks that work later on in the evening, their mindset is going to be on work later on in the day. So even if it's like 2-3 hours later, last thing they're going to want to do is watch a live show. They're going to want to kind of relax, have dinner, stuff like that. So they're not going to be focusing on, catching a live show. That's not going to be of interest. I want them to like be able to sit back, drink a beer or something, have some fun. So I want them to be able to sit back and relax for and settle in for the evening. And that's what I'm planning on doing. Get my tequila shots, or have the little, what would I have, the rum and beer mixed drink or something. So, but yeah, I went full out on that live show. I had skits, I had stories, I had comedy specials that I was planning. I had full on drinks, and I was prepared for the night. I had topics of discussion. I was prepared. I was prepared for whether it was going to be a 30-minute video, or if that video was going to go into the wee hours of the next morning. I was prepared for a long time, but alas, it was what it was. So, and I don't want to do that again. That was kind of embarrassing. So, like I said, I want to make sure that people are actually fully aware that, hey, there's gonna be a live show, and if they're interested in actually tuning in. So if I do go live again, I want there to be a topic at hand, and I want to make sure that people are actually interested. So no live show this Friday. I know I said I was considering doing it on a weekly basis, but that's right now, that's kind of on hiatus. So hopefully that answers the question. I could have just said no. But you know me, I give these long-winded responses. I just can't give a simple answer. Today's matchups are going to start off with Ultimate Warrior Volume 2 as he squares off against Bret with Stripe. Next matchup is going to feature Dynamite Kid from Robert Jackson, and he is going to do battle against Cactus Jack from the Raider Nation. Bret Blue, so we got a couple different Bret Blue variations, and he's going to square off against Andre number 2 Purple. And the final matchup is going to feature No Shirt Hogan from Ram Treasures, and he is going to do battle against, that is Hogan Red. So, okay, I think that's Series 5 original. Alright, so names have been drawn. Let's go ahead and get these figures pulled, and we will begin shortly. Alrighty. First matchup from Wrestling Writer, his Bret Hart with Black Stripe, taken on from Ram Treasures, their Volume 2 Ultimate Warrior. So this Ultimate Warrior figure from Ram Treasures has always been sort of a conundrum for me. I've always stated that one of the most special things about the LJN line is the fact that I love the fact that most wrestlers from the LJN line, now most, obviously not all, only got one figure. Now you do have certain figures, and I'm not talking about Corporal Kirchner with stubble or beard. I'm not talking about Jimmy Hart with hearts on the megaphone on all sides or hearts on the middle versus no hearts. I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about SD Jones with red shirt versus yellow shirt. I'm talking about Tito Santana with purple trunks versus white trunks. I'm talking about, namely, well, yeah, those two count. And I'm mostly talking about Hulk Hogan Series 1 versus Series 5. I'm talking about Andre the Giant Series 1 because his head is completely different versus Series 2. And in Series 2 versus Series 6, which is obviously, you know, the black singlet versus the blue shorts, so which is different. And of course the fighting pose of the figure, which is slightly different in arm positioning, which is like so versus so, you know, for the arm positioning, right? But most characters only got one character, and or most one figure, and Ultimate Warrior from LJN was already a perfect figure. You did not need to touch perfect. When Random Treasures made Rick Rude, I understood it was a necessity. Rick Rude LJN sucked, but this was not needed. It's a fantastic figure. So when I saw this on Ram Treasure's website, I've talked about it before. I saw the figure. I loved the figure, but man, I'm like, it did not need to be made. And even though I got it the same day, I think I got it the same day that I saw it on their page. If not the exact same day, maybe the next day, but I think it was the same day. But it's not like within seconds of me seeing it purchase. It may have been a few minutes afterwards. Like, I had to think about it for a little bit. And it's basically a warlord figure. So it's, you know, nice pose. Not the most perfect pose ever, but it's a very playable, solid figure. And there are upgrades to this piece compared to the other Ultimate Warrior with this color scheme that I had. Namely, the tassels, which is fantastic. The head is a little bit smaller than the other one that I have, but hair and everything is fantastic. Paint is incredible. And I love that they got the little warrior masks on the knee pads. And of course, the little hanging tassels on the boots, you know, built on, look spectacular. Ultimate Warrior, already my second all-time favorite wrestler. Incredible piece. I still rate this Ultimate Warrior as probably one of the top 5 greatest random treasure figures of all time. Awesome, fantastic piece. If I am going to harp on any one figure that I think Random Treasures did extremely well, this has got to be right up there. So, name recognition, the overall look and design of the figure is spectacular. I mean, I guess you could consider these a sort of accessory. I mean, they are kind of built on there a little bit, but I mean, I guess you could move these, take these off. But why would you? I mean, that makes no sense. So it pretty much gives you everything that you need in an action figure, right? I've got a couple of different of these figures in this tournament. In fact, in this exact video, you're gonna see a couple different of these exact same Bret Hart figures. This one is a little bit more special only because it gives you that extra graphic with the black strap, with the black line down the leg. Oddly enough, when I went with the Galoob 2-Ups with Ron Simmons, the whole reason I went with the UK exclusive is for the simple fact that Ron Simmons' Galoob Series 2 had the white line down the leg, and that one extra attribute gave him an extra graphic. And so, because I did that with Ron Simmons, from that point forward, a majority of the other figures from Galoob 2-Ups that I got from Ram Treasures, I started going with UK. Lex Luger, green trunks. Brian Pillman, blue trunks. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, Ron Simmons, Lex Luger, and Brian Pillman. But I've said before, Bret Hart is a fine figure. I still put him in like the top 13 or so, top 12, top 13 of my favorite LJNs. But it is a very simple figure. And if this was not Bret Hart, this would probably be like a number 50 or so best LJN. It's a very simple figure. I mean, he's basically a undercut punch figure only. He is a top figure only because he's Bret Hart. If this was, let's say, a Tito Santana, which, based on this play pose, this actually is the original prototype of Tito Santana. So, they did not give this to Tito Santana in Series 3. They waited to Series 4 and gave a very similar pose to Bret Hart. Again, if this figure wasn't Bret Hart, this is one of the bottom tier action figures from the LJN line. But he's Bret Hart, so I rate him much higher. Other than that, because he's a very valuable, one of the most expensive, one of the more valuable LJN figures, that I think I have to put that value up there. So, Ultimate Warrior, probably my number 2 all-time favorite wrestler, Bret Hart. I'd probably say my number 4, maybe all-time favorite wrestler. So we're not just comparing favorite wrestling action figures. We're comparing all-time favorite real-life wrestlers. And this is a hell of a freaking matchup right here. But I do got to give the leg up to the Ultimate Warrior. This is a hell of a figure. Ram Treasures knocked this one out of the ballpark. Ultimate Warrior does move on to round 3. Next matchup is going to feature from Robert Jackson, his repaint of Dynamite Kid, squaring off against the Raider Nation's Cactus Jack. And we're going to look at Cactus Jack. Now, I remember when I did a review of this figure last year, and I absolutely loved it. And I remember one of the comments, and one of the commenters were talking about like they thought that well, to put it mildly, they thought this figure was trash. I'm like, how are you insane? How do you find this? How are you hating on this figure? This thing is immensely incredible. But you look at the figure and it's like, I get it, man. It's when you kind of look at some of the customs I have and you kind of make those comparisons, yeah, you kind of look at the face. It's like that right there. I get it. That alone is what a lot of people are going to be looking at. And Kenny Lester, he does amazing work. I love a lot of his customs. That right there, it's you got to realize, man, these are a lot of these guys. They're not big brick and mortar businesses. Okay, these are just guys who just operate out of their homes, whether they're painting and sculpting out of their basements, their garages, their kitchens, what have you. They're doing this for fun. Okay, whatever utensils they use, whatever acrylic paints and brushes that they got to utilize, they don't have the most top-notch, expensive. Again, I'm not an artist. I don't know the first thing about sculpting and slicing and painting and doing all this extra stuff. I don't know how to do all that stuff. So I'm not going to be the one to sit there and knock on every little, the biggest detail. I look at this, I think, man, this is a fantastic figure. So when I look at this, I'm like, you know what? One of the highlights with any Raider Nation figure, they're always going to take the most expensive figures. Outback Jack. Outback Jack alone is like a $40 to $60 figure. All right. You know, with Outback Jack, you throw on his hat accessory, that figure runs up to $75 to $100 figure. So Outback Jack is a fantastic figure, expensive figure. And now you're taking that figure and you're customizing it. You're putting the time and effort into the work. With the time, okay, what's your time worth? Maybe your time is worth $10 an hour. How many hours did it take you to sit there and craft and paint this? How much money did you pay into the supplies to paint this? How much did you pay for the accessories, etc.? So what I paid for this figure, I'm pretty darn pleased with it. And I think he did an amazing job. Cactus Jack, I mean, this figure is a little bit slimmer, but a lot of guys, like what I got from Wrestling Rider, they use the Lou Albano figure, a really plump, heavy set figure. I'd rather go with a much thinner than a much heavier, huskier figure. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Mick Foley, he's kind of like in between the two. Yeah, I get it. He did put on some weight, but Lou Albano, I don't look at Lou Albano as being a good representation of Mick Foley. So, and like I said, with the barbed wire bat, I kind of look at it as Lucille. So I love that a lot. I think this is a fantastic figure. Dynamite Kid, anytime I look at the original LJN figures of the British Bulldogs, anytime I look at the original red pants, or if I look at any of my customs, whether I'm looking at blue pants early with the mid 1980s, or if I look at the white pants UK color scheme, yes, I will gravitate towards either the white pants or the blue pants. Why? Because they are different. The red pants original are what everybody has. And, you know, something like the white pants, for example, they are brighter, they're flashier, they jump out at you. I covet this so much, and it looks incredible. The British Bulldogs in of themselves, they are smaller figures. I don't necessarily covet the one arm up pose. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst. They're definitely playable figures if you need to. You could work with them, but they're not exactly what I would classify as go-to figures if that's what you're into. So, I mean, this to me would be a no-brainer. Now, if I'm you're not utilizing Cactus Jack as a playable figure, not with that built-in accessory, but still as a playable figure. Outback Jack, easily a superior figure, right? And with the built-in accessory for Cactus Jack, overall color scheme, look, Cactus Jack, for me, easy win. All right. Next battle is Bret Hart Blue, and he squares off against Andre Purple. So, again, like I said, unlike the first blue Bret Hart we looked at, which had the big black line down the leg, this one does not, which is perfectly fine. So, in a video where we're going to see multiple Bret Harts, we're also going to see multiple Hulk Hogans in this video. And we might see, there might be an opportunity for at least one Bret Hart to move forward. But going against Andre, I don't know. There's a good opportunity 2 Bret Harts in one video could be eliminated. Because I've already said, man, Andre the Giant is such a spectacular figure. I don't care which figure you're looking at. Series 6, Series 2, Series 1. Very few figures are going to defeat Andre the Giant. Given, in round 1, a couple of inferior, for lack of a better term, figures did push forward over my Andre the Giant figures. But I put an asterisk over that. You guys remember the deal. Like, I had Ricky Steamboat. I had a couple. I remember one Ricky Steamboat custom. I think it was the white pants one from Wrestling Rider. Great custom work on that Ricky Steamboat figure. Awesome custom for the figure. It was a nice piece of work, but it was never going to beat an Andre the Giant figure. Not in a million years. Problem is, the Andre the Giant that I had him going against was a Robert Jackson custom, and it was a Series 2 repaint to look like Blackstrap. And I said in that video, a Blackstrap Series 2 Andre custom was not going to beat an original Series 2 Andre. It was not going to beat a Blackstrap original. So it was pointless to push forward a couple of customs that I knew was not going to beat original figures when... So I think that one, I also had a Papa Shango that kind of moved forward based on the same scenario. So 2 Andre the Giants actually lost in the first round based on that criteria. But I got like, what, 6 different Andre the Giants that didn't push forward into the second round. So Andre the Giant as a character is not hurting in this tournament with figures. I mean, this is a very easy matchup. I'm not even going to sit there and focus a whole lot on this. This super fast. Andre the Giant is an absolute no-brainer. I don't have to sit here and talk about this all day. We know the deal with this one. Last matchup is going to feature a couple of Hogans, and it's awesome. Not really. They had a couple of Series 5-esque Hogans square off. We will deal with the original Series 5 Red Shirt Hogan. So, one of the things that... Well, actually, let's kind of skip up with the Ram Treasures Hogan. So, this was a perfectly fine Hogan from Ram Treasures, right? So, one of the things that I kind of talked about... I don't want to say I was mad at Ram Treasures, but I said that one of the things that I didn't like is the fact that you have a red shirt and white shirt original Hulk Hogan from the main line, right? Itching. These t-shirts give you that added aesthetic. You don't need to remove the t-shirt. Now you're basically taking, now you're taking like think of the original Series 1 Hogan. Perfect wrestling action figure. Playable wrestling action figure, right? But as a red knee pad, yellow trunk, yellow boot figure, the aesthetics aren't there. It's a very plain and simple wrestling figure. If a Series 1 Hogan does not win this tournament, it is because the aesthetics is just so simple. It's like a Greg Valentine, just all black figure. That's what hurts figures like that. They're such perfect figures, but the look is just so simple that you just can't covet it as much as you want to. So now you've taken a figure that doesn't have the greatest play pose in the world. It's a top 20 figure in my opinion, only because of the fact that it's more of a commemorative piece. And because it's a thicker, more bulkier figure than what you get from the Series 1, and with the added clothing, it's got that added graphic, right? So, and of course, I'm going to get it from Ram Treasures. I mean, I want to support the company. You know, Net and the folks over at Ram Treasures, they provide such amazing customer service. And that's another thing, guys. I'm probably going to start mentioning this during my review videos for like grapplers and gimmicks and zombie sailors and big rubber guys and stuff like that as well. It is infuriating. I can send messages to those guys, wait a couple days, not hear back, wait a couple of weeks, not hear back, maybe send up a follow message. I will never hear back from those guys. With Random Treasures, I could send Nat a message at 11:30 p.m., by 11:34, I will have a response from her. So, if I'm doing a live show, if I'm doing a review video or something, I will talk about that all day long. That freaking customer service right there, that is reasons why I will be a loyal customer for freaking Random Treasures forever. Why am I willing to pay up more for a figure from her? It's because of stuff like that. The simple things in life mean the world of difference. So, where was I? Oh yeah. So this particular figure, it was a fine figure. I didn't mind it, and getting it in, I'm glad to have it on the shelf. Same thing with the Ichiban Hogan that looks like this. Obviously, during doing this tournament, I started feeling a lot more. I started feeling a lot more better about the figure. And I'm like, you throw a little championship belt on, I'm like, damn, you know what? It really looks a lot more special than I even gave it credit for. I liked it before. I really like it a lot more. I don't want to say love. You know what? I can say that I love the figure. I can't say I love it. I do love the figure. Why not? I mean, I do say I love this figure, so why not? It's the same figure. And the head mold, actually, they did change the head mold. It is different enough. Even the mustache is different. The eyes look different. So, the face is different. I was thinking the face was actually the same, but comparing them side by side like so, it is a different head. Or am I just seeing things? What do you guys think? Either way, guys, I have to go with the original Series 5. Like I said, the original graphics of the t-shirt, the added graphics does make a world of difference. This is a nice piece. I think it could, if it does make it to round 3, I think that's about as far as it could go. I don't really see a Series 5 white shirt or red shirt, and I think white shirt might actually be out of this tournament if I'm not mistaken, but either way, I don't see a red shirt or a white shirt making it out of round 3. But the Ichiban Hogan, if the Ichiban is still in here, I don't remember if it is or not. Might potentially make it to round 4, but I don't think any of these version Hogans will make it anywhere past round 4. But I still think that making it in round 3 for this particular figure is a nice run. But that's it for this video, guys. 30 minutes. This is exactly where I want to be on these type of videos. So hopefully this was a fun video for you guys. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye, everybody.